for August the 62, 40. Have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Cross?
Present.
Commissioner Herzog?
Present.
Commissioner Eichelberger? Deputy Controller Rosa?
Here.
Is there any public comment to come from the salary board? Item number 4 is the approval of the minutes of July the 6th and July the 20th. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Second.
Any further discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 5 is the approval of the salary board actions. Is there a motion to approve those actions?
Make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion of the salary board actions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any other business to come before the salary board? Hearing none, we're adjourned. If you would stand as you're able and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call to order the Board of Commissioners meeting for the 6th of August. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Cross?
Present.
Commissioner Herzog?
Here.
Commissioner Eichelberger?
Present.
Is there any public comment to come before the Board of Commissioners? Item number 4 is the approval of the minutes of July the 2nd, July the 6th, and July the 20th of this year. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 5 is the approval of the minutes from the Public Safety Review Team of April the 29th of this year, May the 27th of this year, and June the 24th of 2015. Is there a motion to approve those minutes? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on those minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6, you have the personnel transactions. Is there a motion to approve those transactions?
So, second.
Any further discussion of personnel transactions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Item number 7. It is with great pleasure that we're going to acknowledge the website with an award from the County Commissioners Association. Commissioner Herzog attended this year's annual conference that was held in Pittsburgh and brought back the awards. So if you would
Sure. Be happy
Please.
to, Madam Chair. Thank you.
all of those who are going to be acknowledged and
Yeah.
sort of taking part of this.
You know, I had to go the whole way to Pittsburgh to pick this up, guys, but it was my honor, on behalf of Mark, Chris, Megan, and Heather, and all of our dedicated staff in Cumberland County who worked on the update of our website to accept this award on your behalf. Very handsome award. Very pleased to do it. I will tell you that it was interesting. Now, this is for top website of counties of the 1st through the 3rd class. And Commissioner Bob Thomas from Franklin County, who's the first vice president, incoming president of the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania, he made the announcement of the award, as he also made the announcement of the award for the top website for counties of the 4th through 8th class. Now, as it turns out, Franklin County, his home county, won the award for top website of counties of the 4th through 8th class. But he did tell me on the side, because he's visited our website, and I don't know, he probably won't acknowledge this if it becomes public.
Oh, it just has. I mean, it just
But
has.
he said that our website is better than his. So I take that as meaning we got the best website in the state of Pennsylvania. Congratulations. Okay.
We'll get a photo of the post on the website. Next time.
Yeah, he got on our website and checked it out, you know, and he said, that's pretty nice. How you want to do this?
Split up in between here. Short.
This way.
Right? Good.
Hold that down.
Yeah.
So it doesn't reflect
Thanks, Jeff.
Shelby looks so person.
Just want a couple of words, if you don't mind.
We got it.
A special thank you to our webmaster, George Schickler, who's not here today, and the communications team themselves, who really worked hard together to put this together. Obviously, there was a lot of interaction with other departments, to pull up information and to pull data and put it all together and present it in such a way. So I also want to thank all the individual departments that work so hard on their individual websites.
Yeah, go ahead. I remember this started as a meeting, a little tiny kernel, a seed. In a meeting we had about 3 or 4 months after I first got it. And we realized that there was a lot to do to create forget an award-winning website, but one that really served our purposes. And I just want to thank everybody who worked on that to pull together what was a pretty complex project over a very reasonable time frame within budget, and to produce a final product that others recognize as being as good as nearly everybody in the county will always do it. Thank you so much.
ccpa.net.
There's just, real quick, some of the features, if you haven't been on it, we take it personally. No, but it's got a lot of great features. There's the notify me feature to sign up and get a lot of great notifications. The website feature, which Chris designs those, has allowed us to really highlight a lot of the great things going on in the county. I think that's been the best thing we've gained so far, so that people can really see what we're doing and what great work is happening with staff in Cumberland County. So check it out, explore. There's a lot of great things, and we hope to keep it current and trendy. So we'll work on that. And easy to use.
Easy to navigate for us.
I
Still
think-
kicking and screaming
I
in
think
the
easy
21st
navigation is
century.
another great thing that we kind of was one of our main focuses, and with the mega menus, we're able to do that, and we hope to keep that as one of the key components of our website is easy navigation. So.
Congratulations.
I'm just gonna not sit down. Can I take it over to you tonight?
It's like a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, right.
It's traveling, kind of like Stanley Cup. You just said Stanley Cup, yeah.
Madam Chair, before you proceed into the next item of business, I just would like to ask a point of personal privilege. You know, and I'm sure that, and I certainly hope that we'll do more at the appropriate time to honor your service to the people of Cumberland County, Commissioner Cross. But CCAP also recognized outgoing members for their service to the people of counties throughout Pennsylvania. And there was a special certificate of appreciation that was presented to Cumberland County for Commissioner Cross. And although she was unable to attend, I know that she was missed at this year's conference. A number of individuals had asked, you know, whether or not you were going to be there or not, and I said that you had chose not to attend this year. But I will say that Barb demonstrated absolute leadership as the chair of the governance committee, and it was largely through her efforts that the 911 fee legislation, you know, has now been enacted into law, and that funding legislation, you know, helps to lift the burden off the backs of our property taxpayers, you know, with respect to funding our public safety and 911 systems, you know, going forward. So, Barb, I'd just like to read this to you. CCAP Certificate of Appreciation presented to Barb Cross, Cumberland County Commissioner, in recognition of your generous years of service and outstanding commitment of time, support, and talent on behalf of the county government of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania during your tenure as a county commissioner. Your advocacy for the policies and issues of county government and your strong and insightful skills have done much to enhance the lives of the county citizens and to strengthen the communities within your county. And then there's a quote from John Ruskin. It says, "The highest reward for a person's toil is not what they get for it, but what they become by it." Presented this 4th day of August, is signed by Craig Lehman, President of the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania, and also by Doug Hill, the Executive Director of the County Commissioners Association.
Thanks. item number 8 is the press release for the feature of Pennsylvania cable news with the courthouse series. I'll turn that over to Megan.
Yes, we were selected this past year to be part of CCAP and PCN's annual courthouse series. So we had a film crew here for about a day and a half, came in. It will be airing on August, it's right here somewhere, August 13th at 7 p.m. and re-air on August 15th and also be available on their website, and eventually we hope to put it on our website as well. But if you have a chance to tune in, it was fun to watch, be created. It's going to feature a lot of the history from the old courthouse. It'll look at the new courthouse as well. Look at some of the technology that's used here, John's energy efficiency components and things of that nature. So it should be pretty neat.
And none of the ghosts.
None of the ghosts, no, there were no, that we know of,
Just
there were no
one of them.
ghosts captured in the filming of this, but, we did also, spend some time in the Recorder of Deeds as well. They found, the historical documents down there to be fascinating, some of them dating back to before the United States even existed. So, they featured that as well, so if folks are interested in it, it should be really kind of neat to see. We had someone from the Historical Society and folks from the county as well being interviewed, so.
They have gone through the Commonwealth and picked a variety of courthouses to feature. And it's great that we were on this cycle, for that. So,
I did see they showed
Did they show it?
showed a short clip
Okay.
at the conference, and it talks about the history of the old courthouse. What I saw, but apparently the segment is actually going to also include
Yes.
information on our new courthouse.
They even went to the roof, which
Oh,
I never
good.
wish to do again, so. It's higher than you think.
So tune in. When is that? August?
August
13th.
13th is the original air date, and then there'll be a re-air August 15th, but it'll also be available on our website.
All right, thank you so much. Item number 9 is a press release for the household hazardous waste drop-off event. Justin, I know that was just put on the website.
Yeah, our popular household hazardous waste drop-off event is 16 days away. Here to ask our friends in the press if they can maybe help us make one last push to get the word out. It's always a challenge. We have had the information on our website for quite some time. Communications, they just left, but I thank them for, they created a nice slide on the homepage to direct people to the event. Some of our municipalities have gotten the information out in the newsletter. We certainly appreciate that. But all the details are in the press release. If you have questions later, we'll have Thank you.
Any questions for Dusty? Item number 10, for the donation of the Vintage Tech recyclers, from Vintage Tech recyclers, offered to provide a electronic recycling drop-off event, and that comes back to Justin again.
Apologize for missing the workshop and for not knowing today's meeting was today and not Monday. But I did provide you a memo. I understand, Gary, I think you reviewed it somewhere at the meeting. So I don't want to get bogged down in the details, but the bottom line is we had the bids out, didn't get any, had this call from Vintage Tech for a meeting, came in and they proposed to do, at the meeting they were talking about doing 2 events this fall. I asked for something in writing. They did submit a written proposal, and their written proposal was interesting. They actually proposed to be our recycler for 1 year, and all they require is that here's what they say: responsibilities of the customer, provide a host collection site, select dates and times of the events, designate a contact person, provide volunteers if possible, and provide advertising for the event. So it was a little different than what I heard at the meeting. But regardless, it also was no cost, and I was taken back by that, to be honest with you.
Well, they must have a market or something.
And this is for electronics.
Electronics recycling,
TVs.
TVs, computers. I have some thoughts on why they came to us. I really don't want to talk about it because it's pure speculation, and I may be wrong.
Did the solicitor look at it?
Yes, well, here's what, so I forwarded this to the solicitor. There were some things in here that they were not comfortable with and recommended that we put together the agreement and provide it to them. And I'm okay with that. And also in consultation with them, they wanted to make sure you were comfortable with the offer. I mean, you have questions, I'll try to answer questions, comments. It's kind of, it took me back when they came in. Here we got no bids, and then someone comes and proposes to do this at no charge. But at the end, I think we have an exceptional offer from a reputable recycler. And it's my opinion that we should pursue it. And I'm just seeking your, I guess, blessing to authorize us to move forward and work out these contract details. Making sure we get what we want in there and getting them signed, and then I'll bring it back to you for signature.
Are they proposing, you said about the events, the number of events, are they proposing a minimum number of events?
Not in our written agreement. They did not put that in there, and I've been thinking about that.
You know, they're gonna be satisfied just doing.
They verbally proposed 2 this fall. Actually, what they, Vintage Tech is a good company, and they did say they prefer to work with permanent sites. But they're willing to work with us and maybe hope that we in the future would consider the possibility of going to a permanent site. But I'm receptive to the 1-year agreement, but I want to put in there that maybe a certain amount of events, maybe like 1 this fall, 1 this spring, maybe another one in the fall before the agreement ends, and instead of trying to rush 2 and in the fall. I think we can work those details out, spread it out, and provide some events.
So becoming essentially the recycler of record, the contractor
That's
for
right,
a year,
yeah.
essentially that it would just obligates us to that 1 year, so.
That's right, and actually, there has a termination clause, so we could terminate, giving them so many days' notice, so we would.
We wouldn't do any more than 1 or 2 events anyhow, if we were going out to bid.
Right, I think we could get maybe 3 out of them,
If
max.
we got interest in that.
Yeah, and I think they just want, I guess they don't want us to behind the back, well, try to do something else with another recycler, they want us to stick with them for a year.
So this is 1 day, 1 location.
Yeah, they actually, they said we'll do a permanent site or events, and however you want to do it. But I think they want us to work with them when the time comes to, make sure it's something that they can handle.
So it would be.
So I'm gonna propose a 1 day.
So Allen Road on, pick a Saturday,
Yep,
and everybody come as they did in the past. That all the volunteers, we have liability if they're hurt, carrying stuff.
Are they all our volunteers of being county employees?
that's the way I would promote it would be yes. Just say with the household hazardous waste, and that's some of the planning and conservation employees are gonna help.
There should be some type of coverage available to take it.
I mean, I don't know what these teams are.
Yeah,
It could be nothing, I mean, who knows? I just want to make sure that if we're calling in volunteers to do
Right.
this.
We're gonna look at those types of issues. I mean, our office is not one to kill the goose that lays the golden
I
egg.
know.
So we're gonna,
Okay.
there are just a few issues like that we want to look at.
So if we had Boy Scouts or somebody, environmental groups that wanted to volunteer, that wouldn't be, we're gonna work that out.
I have to, yeah, I have to
Okay.
look at that.
It'd be nice to have the option if that's possible.
How about the authority board meeting?
Oh, they're not sure. No, just, no, we'll check that, I'll check that.
I don't want this to go bad.
Oh, I know,
If
I know.
there's a problem.
Right.
But,
Well, there may be a number of volunteer organizations, who might be wanting to lend a hand here. I know this is a huge issue in the western part of the county, where electronics are now being dumped on the farms.
Yeah.
And so, I would say, if we can get 2 locations, in our more urbanized area of the county, in the West Shore, and then some in the western part of the county, or maybe a little bit west of Carlisle, as opposed to having a central location, because I think the key here is gonna be promoting it, making sure that people are aware. There's probably lots of folks like me that have old electronics in the garage, that we don't know what to do with, because, so I would say, we just mainly need to, promote it as best we can, make people aware of the fact that, hey, you can get rid of your old TV now, you can get rid of your old computer, here's where you go. And they do, as far as computers go, are they gonna take the hard drive out and destroy it and all that?
They have a very detailed clause in here about data security and complying with, there's several laws out there that address that issue. And they
So
comply with
people
all
who
those.
might be concerned about their personal data, being picked up by somebody that's something that will be addressed at the site, or how does that work?
Yeah, actually, do you mind if I read this?
Sure.
yeah.
Vintage Tech shall comply with any and all legal requirements with respect to data protection, erasure, and/or destruction, including without limitation, compliance with the National Institute of Standards and Technology 800-88, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, Federal Information Security Management Act, the, what is that, Sarbanes-Oxley Act,
Mhm.
the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act, and the Graham-Leach-Wiley Act.
Okay, so in other words, because I've got some old computers laying around now, I mean, people can be assured that we don't have to smash it into smithereens, right? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we can bring it in and it will be cleaned, or?
And that's actually a good question. I was looking back at some of our old contract documents, and we had in there that the contractors would be responsible for that and not hold the county responsible in case something did happen.
Mr. Divers.
Yeah, so.
Mm.
I mean, we're gonna ask that they provide that, and the responsibilities on them. And I wanna try to assure the public that we're taking, steps to protect their information.
So, just one quick thing. So when I hear something's free, the first thing I think of is what's the catch? So Keith, what do you think of the proposal overall?
I think it's a good proposal, with just a few details that need to be worked out. There's very issues in liability.
And the equipment that's dropped off will be removed that day from the site.
Yeah, actually, you were talking about sites, and that's a question I really wanna have some more detailed conversation with the solicitor. When I met with them, they said they preferred to work on property owned by the host sponsor.
Okay.
Because you start to get in, I think, some issues when you start doing things on other people's property. And that's something we're really gonna have to look at.
You mean
Like the Lions, so.
What about-
Lines or
municipalities?
I think even a municipality. I don't know, I may be wrong. But that's a question I thought we had for you.
But the Lions site is no longer used, correct?
The Lions Fairgrounds?
Yeah, for any recycling.
For any reason, no,
That's done.
that's done.
All right.
I mean, I guess we could enter in, I don't know, I don't want.
What about
I'm not a
school?
solicitor.
Would
I mean-
they be receptive to using school?
I'm gonna defer, can you put together an agreement that would?
We could do that, but the first answer comes from the one that's voluntarily doing the service for us. They're gonna tell us where they're gonna allow us to have it.
Okay.
And then we'll have to have an agreement with the school or some arrangement with the school if that's the case.
I'm thinking of parking, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
people able to kind of drop off, pick up, keep that traffic going. Some of the municipal buildings are fine, but depending too on the day, on a Saturday.
I agree with moving, I think moving the site around is the best way to do it. I just wanna make sure we're covering all the bases.
Okay.
And more than sufficient time so that
Yeah.
residents can, sort of plan to get the truck. I mean, call your brother-in-law in the morning and say, I need the truck, probably not gonna work. So enough notification, advertising, whatever, to say, in 2 weeks this is gonna happen.
That's right, and I forget which one you brought this up, but another thing that the vendor brought up is for using a sponsor's site is, as I've said this before, drop-off events, there's a lot of unknowns. You could get hammered, you could get hardly anybody. They're gonna try to plan based on historical numbers, and if we get hammered, they may have to make a call for more trucks, and they said, would there be any problem with letting stuff sit in the parking lot overnight until we could maybe get to it the next morning? And that's where they said, I prefer to work with
Yeah, that's what the
property owners.
vulnerability turns into.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's actually the question I was gonna go to next, because we had that experience when we were at the council of governments, we do the auction every year. And then the question was always, what about the stuff that's left over, unsold? And these types of events, I'm sure you're already thinking this,
Yeah.
it's publicly publicized. So you potentially have people coming in, dumping stuff the night before. Some of it may not be things that the vendor wants. Are they have the responsibility for removing it, or do we have the responsibility for removing it?
That's
Which
good,
is just
yeah.
left there. So that's one of the things I think we would have to be, I'm sure Keith's already thinking along those lines.
Well, I'll make a motion to move forward with further exploration of the acceptance of the offer from Vintage Tech Recyclers to provide free of cost electronic recycling drop-off event services to Cumberland County.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Do we have a timeframe when we need to get back to them? Like this week, next
They
week?
haven't given me a time frame, but as soon as, I wanna keep it moving. I don't wanna keep delaying them and They turn around and say, sorry, we changed the mark.
We woke up.
Yeah, I wanted to look early.
Yeah.
So,
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item number 11. is, Investment partnership program presented during the workshop. We will take these separately. Is there a motion for the funding approval and agreement for the 2015 Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program?
So moved.
Is there a second?
second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there a motion for the administrative agreement between the county and the redevelopment authority for 2015 for the CDBG and the home funds?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 12, a rather long list of grants and contracts. Certainly need signatures, but they run from A, I believe, through I. And will any of these need to be addressed separately due to any conflict of interest? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a motion to approve A for block? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 13 is a discussion and a request for approval from the Department of Public Welfare for a DME durable medical equipment grant for Claremont, and this is due for tomorrow, but was not presented, as I understand,
That's correct.
at the workshop. So I will ask Lynette to address this, please.
Yes, this is based on the DME policy that was approved back in, I believe it was July 1, that the quick turnaround requires speedy reaction to their grant. We have received the grant, or have the opportunity to receive the grant for $16,661.89, which covers 100% of the cost of a resident in our facility's durable medical equipment wheelchair that we are required to purchase because it is medically necessary. We have made the purchase because you only have 15 days from the date of being deemed medical necessary to purchase it. It is ordered. This is the grant revenue that would then reimburse Claremont for 100% of the cost through their medical assistance monies.
Is there a motion for the approval of Department of Public Welfare, actually Department of Human Services, DME grant?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Just so I'm clear, I missed part of what you said. Was this that wheelchair?
It is a wheelchair for this particular resident, yes. And we had one earlier, they come around periodically as the need develops. This is the first full purchase of a wheelchair this year. We had one earlier in the year that was a repair, a modification based on some changes on the resident's
Was
needs.
this the one that was $17,000?
This is,
Yeah,
yeah, 17.
$17,000.
They're all between $17,000 and $20,000. It just depends on what modifications are needed for this specific resident.
I just haven't been around by that. I never received a response. I'm just
Well,
not familiar with
but the
wheelchairs.
policy is-
The policy has been approved,
In place.
that basically the information can be submitted at the administrator's approval, and then whenever the grant comes in for the approval, that comes before the board, and that's where we're at right now.
That's fine. I still have a right to ask.
Mhm.
Wheelchair
Yeah.
was $17,000.
Yes, and that's actually cheaper than some of them that we have purchased. Most of them are closer to 20.
Does this have a sunroof and blah, blah?
Almost.
I was gonna say you can buy a pretty decent car.
Well, that was, I think the question was a good question. I mean, why does a wheelchair cost?
Because it's designed, it is the piece of equipment that the resident resides in other than in their bed. It's their only mode of communication, transportation.
It's not the kind you fold up and put in the back of your truck.
That's kind of obvious. I was just curious. Is there a lot of electronics to it? Is it?
Yes, there's tilts, there's When I say there's
6
bells
on
and
the floor.
whistles, I'm not saying bells and whistles as far as extras. I'm talking medically needed bells and whistles to be able to make the, allow the resident to be as fully functioning in the home as they can.
So the answer is these are very expensive.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And they are. I mean, we have, we had two in last year, I believe, that were 20,000 each. We had a modification at the beginning of this year that was over 6, and this one is a new one. This is actually a replacement, this individual, back when I think it was 08, I believe, when I looked at it. She had her first wheelchair, it was her DME. I'm not sure what the price of it was at that point in time. We had a DME grant, it paid for it. It has lasted from whatever that year is. I'm not positive that it's 08, but whatever it was for, it has lasted that amount of time. Hers is no longer operable. Right now, she's in a makeshift type of arrangement. She's completely safe, she's completely needed, but she cannot mobilize herself. And so what is required is it's required of an aide or a nurse to move her in her chair wherever she would be able to go. This chair will allow her to be functioning to the capacity that she's able to function in the facility.
And I think what's important too, that you had mentioned very early on, a few minutes ago, the 15 days that's required by us to acknowledge this. So we don't have a lengthy, and it could occur in between a workshop and a board commissioners meeting. So that I believe that was what the policy was to
That is correct.
address.
That policy allowed us to be able to respond as quickly as possible because we don't always have that opportunity to meet.
And the grant is being reimbursed.
That is correct.
And when I just came back to the fact that it is a sizable sum, these things have to be custom
Yes.
made. It's not like you get them off the line.
No, they're custom made. That is correct. And what we're working is it's kind of almost like a specially designed car or something like that. You pick the chassis and then you add this to and you add that to until you get the fully built wheelchair that is meeting the needs of the resident. So, and that's how it is quoted out through medical assistance and everything else. It's chassis plus this, plus that to be functioning for the specific person.
He knows where they're made, what that?
They're the main, I'm not sure which brand this one is, actually, this one's a Permobil is the base, and then it has all of the different functions. We get them through medical.
You don't know where they're
I
manufactured.
was just curious.
No, I would
whether
have
they're
to, I would have to look. I don't
Made in
know.
America, or are we don't know? Okay.
Any other questions?
There's a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Item number 14, also from Annette, a discussion and a proposal for e-solutions, software trial for Medicare claims.
Yes, this is the software that we discussed at the Claremont Nursing Board meeting last month, in that it is the scrubber software to submit the Medicare bills to Medicare. We have been highly recommended to review the software. I had talked about it slightly or briefly at the meeting last month to indicate that as soon as we have the opportunity, we need to do this. We currently have a software that we pay $150 a month for the service. This software would cost slightly more, around $2,700 more a year. However, the user-friendly software part of it, when we're billing for $15,000 for one person for one claim for Medicare in a month, and we can't get it to be approved because of the software glitches and things like that, one claim more than pays for this. And so what this software does is it brings the user-friendliness of a DOS program to something that we're all able to use in a normal working computer environment. This is no obligation. All this is a trial. This is allowing Medicare to provide the access of e-solutions into their system to bridge the pathway. This is not a commitment. Keith has already reviewed both the cost proposal and the contract. If everything goes as I hope, we would want to go into a contract with this vendor, but that is not what's on the board today. Today is just the signature to allow the data to come through on a trial basis.
And this also did not make the workshop.
That is correct. The demonstration, as I had said at the meeting a month ago, was going to be on the 27th of, or the 31st, it was last Friday. And where we're at is the crucialness of the AR follow-up, the accounts receivable follow-up. You have 1 year to do any of your cleanup on your Medicare claims. And so a month delay risks, every month that we delay, and that's where I wanted to request, and I do apologize, but I wanted to request if I could possibly get this on so that we can save as much of the AR as we can.
Do they do anything besides Medicare? Do you know these
No.
guys, Mark? E-Solutions? You don't know?
Yeah.
Okay,
It is
so
who
they're-
all of the premier facilities, all of the affinity, everybody, this is the one that we have been recommended highly to. Where we have is what we have is MDON, and it is the bare bones, submit and deliver.
Okay, I have 3 questions.
Mhm.
You never hear the word DOS and user-friendly used in the same sentence.
And that's why this is right now what we have to deal with is DOS environment.
All right, so
And
this
it's
is a
nasty.
Windows,
This
this is
is,
a Windows type of
Yeah.
application. Okay, so that's question number 1, thank you. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay. Number 2 is you gave us the monthly cost of the current software, and then you gave us how much more it would be per year. What's the monthly charge?
it is
of the new one?
300, just a
So
second.
it's about double the cost?
It's 15 times, 150 times 12, double the
Yes.
Not dangerous.
So it's more than.
Respectfully not dangerous.
It's more than double the monthly cost?
It,
Okay, so this leads to my 3rd question. The reason this would make financial sense if we were, in understanding.
This is not right.
It's a free trial,
mhm.
okay? That we would then be able to get paid more quickly with fewer resubmissions?
A couple fold. More quickly is definitely an advantage, but that's not the primary reason. The primary reason is that Medicare system is, and any third-party system is basically built up to deny your claims. And so you have to have all your I's dotted, all your T's crossed, and hope and pray that it's going to go through correctly. This is a system that we can look at logically and proceed through the rejected claim and get it fixed. Right now, what's happening on the DOS-based system is which spot, and nobody
Okay,
can.
so this is just, this may be the greatest thing since
Mhm.
the free electronics.
Yes, that is
disposals.
correct.
But I just want to understand what it is. So it's a software that you use for rejected claims that will identify the errors so that you can more quickly and precisely pinpoint what needs to be fixed so you can resubmit the claim and have it approved.
Yes, and it's also the submittal and the submitting and retrieval of the claims. So it's an intermediary software that you both submit them, fix
But
them.
our current software is also intermediary
Yes.
as well. But this is a better one. And so the savings that would make it worth it conceivably are
Cut down on
improved cash flow and cut down on the amount of time.
Write-offs.
Staff time, reduced write-offs.
Write-offs, that's the write-offs is the one, staff time as well, but the write-offs are key. If we can't get the claims paid, we worked very, very, very hard to achieve that revenue, but we aren't able to get it, not get it paid.
Okay, and I'm sorry, one last one quickie. When we first filed the claim, did we file it through this software?
We will in the future, but currently we would be doing our current existing MDON. Yes.
Thank you.
How long's the trial?
Trial is 30 days, and if we choose to continue on with that, and we are communicating with them in a manner that we want, the contract is at peace, we're working on that, they do not turn you off, they just let you on, and then when the contract is in, then they continue to. So there's no delay in service. And we would have our MD on too, but we would switch over immediately.
So is this motion today to go for the trial for 30 days, or is this motion today to go for the trial and
No,
accept?
just the trial.
Just the trial.
That's correct.
Is there a motion to enter into a 30-day trial with e-solution for Medicare funds?
So,
Is there a second? Any further discussion on the 30-day trial? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then you will bring back your interest in continuing, what worked, what did not work, what needs to be adjusted, user training and all that.
Yes.
Is there a training, I should ask before, is there a training component to any of this?
There is a training component in it, both online as well as webinar type things. As my understanding is there's no need for actual any in-person training because it's so user-friendly and click and point, it's not like what we have currently.
I just want to make sure, so.
Yes, that's
in 30
correct.
days, you'll be back.
That's
for the-
right. And why this is so imperative is that until they get their request to Medicare and back, it's not like we turn it on today and we're have the live trial tomorrow.
Right.
It takes several weeks working to get the approval to have that data transmitted. So it is a matter of probably 3 weeks until the trial begins, and then we would have the 30 days.
I would suggest that since this is a 30-day approval, that we don't need, I personally don't need to hear this again at a workshop, that it can't come to us, rather than revisit this again. at a
As far as
workshop.
the contract you're referring to.
Right,
Okay.
and if it does come before, and there's a 30-day period, it should be at the Claremont review team.
Okay.
As part of the discussion there, on that agenda.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're back here 3 more times before we can
Understand.
sign that. So. Item number 15, thanks, Linda. Is there a motion to award the contract for printing and mailing of Cumberland County tax bills to the lowest reputable bidder, which is SSS Printing, in the amount of .039 per bill? This was reviewed during the workshop.
So moved.
Is there a second? Any further discussion on the awarding of this bid? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 16, this was presented by the solicitor during the workshop. Is there a motion to approve the transition of the right to know request from the Commissioner's office to the solicitor's office?
For motion.
Yes, is there a motion?
Motion,
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on the transition?
I just had one question. I know at one point, I think after I was first elected, that the Commissioner's office was, the right to know officer was serving as the right to know officer for some of the row officers as well. Is that still the case? And if so, would that also be transferred over to the solicitor's office?
I'm not sure where that left off. I was under the impression that certain row offices have their own solicitors for just that purpose and have been handling that for some time.
Yeah, Jen, I think either they would get a right to know request directly from themselves, or if we got a row office related right to know, we would basically forward that to them to do with their own solicitor. So the answer is we don't do this.
When the law first came out several years ago, or was revised, all our officers were given a choice. Do you want to use the county's open record officer or your own? Now, for our office, we elected to use the Commissioner's office, open records office. So we're still technically under the solicitors.
I can't tell you who is and who is not. If I had my way, you'd be doing it yourself, because you have your own solicitor.
But as it stands now, until someone says otherwise, there, I think there are 1 or 2 that are still under that umbrella.
Okay, we can get the inventory of that. Jen, can you do that, please?
Okay, so in answer to my question, we are transferring the right to know officer's function out of the Commissioner's office to the solicitor's office. Because I don't want us to be, still handling other row officers. If we're gonna be transferring this, let's transfer it,
I think that, again, until we reconstruct the history here, we would have to negotiate that with the, let's assume for argument's sake that the controller's office is the only one who opted in for the commissioner's office. To do that, we would have to negotiate that, how we should be done before we make the transfer. Just to clarify things and make it clean. I had thought, I was under the impression that all the row officers had opted in to do it on their own. If that is not the case, then we need to pass.
I'm gonna move to table this. And I don't need a second on that as well. No. Okay.
Unless you. I would say that, well, I won't say it.
Item number 17, for Commissioner Hertzler, there is a recommendation for an appointment.
Okay, Madam Chair, there's currently a vacancy for the consumer representative on the Housing Authority Board, and we had an individual who was receiving Housing Authority services and who was stepped up to the plate and volunteered to serve, so I would like to make a motion to appoint Marlene Penny Palmer, 307A North Pitt Street, Carlisle, PA, to serve as the consumer representative on the Housing Authority Board, filling a term, the unexpired term of the term until it expires May 25, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 18 is the general disbursement transfer authorizations A through E. Is there a motion for those general disbursement transfer authorizations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 19, I'd like to report executive session held July the 30th of this year, 2015, at 11:35 a.m. for personnel issues. Item number 20, I'd like to acknowledge the receipt of the monthly reports of the Recorder of Deeds, the Register of Wills, the reports of Veterans Affairs, and the change of assessment for the month of July. Is there any other business to come before the Board of Commissioners?